Greetings. Wow, I'm loud. My wife tells me that, but I didn't realize it until I heard myself feeding back. Brad Peebler, Lexology, didn't put my name on the title, so I'm sorry I have to give the quick introduction. Given the opportunity to talk to a crowd like this, I thought, why don't we talk a little bit about a rising tide that lifts all boats? How can we as a community work together to do something interesting? And to do that, I want to focus on 3D as a media. We all generate, whether we're content creators or software vendors or technology providers, we're generating a lot of content, a lot of media, and I don't think we're really taking advantage of that as a community. If we can successfully improve the way we present 3D as media, well, there's a simple equation. We increase the consumption, that increases demand for production, that equals larger pie, and wouldn't it be nice to eat from a larger pie instead of spending so much time trying to eat each other's pie? Step one, forget about 3D. Forget about it. Let's all get over the 3D-ness of 3D for just a moment. And I know it's hard to do because we're all so very proud of what we've accomplished because 3D is hard. But if we're going to have 3D succeed as a media, step one is forget about 3D. And I want to use a successful media format to illustrate my point. Stock imagery, all right? There's a little website, you may have heard of it, called iStock Photo. They sell pictures. All right, here's some examples, and here's a simple one, a little clock, right? You know, they sell 100,000 pictures a day. 2D is kicking our butt, right? And they've got less D. Come on. 100,000 images a day. People are flocking to this site and buying images. And clearly, our format is better, right? But how does the world see our format? Well, let me pick on one of the largest companies in the world by showing you the Google 3D warehouse. And I searched on clock there, just like I did on iStock, and this is what I got. Hey, good news, everyone. They're almost all 5 stars, and they're almost all crap. But advocates of 3D would say, but Brad, it's 3D. You can rotate it. Look, you can see it from any angle. And so what? At the end of the day, it's not compelling content. Nobody's going to pay for it. You can probably barely get anybody to download it. In fact, well, okay, it's been downloaded 5,200 times, but I don't know why. And certainly nobody's paying for it. So what can we do? We propose, again, that first we must focus on how 3D can reach parity of the image-based content, and let's present ourselves as image-first content, and then bring forward the benefit. Now, I'm going to show you a little sketch here, a little tech sketch, and it's a mashup of a bunch of advanced technologies and trending concepts. I'm going to be demonstrating on a thin client connected to a server. I'm not going to say cloud because it makes me want to throw up my mouth a little bit every time I say it. But I've also pre-recorded the demo because not everyone's going to be able to see this screen, and in case my Wi-Fi fails me. But what we have on screen here, this is in my kitchen there on the table, is what we think a stock photo site should look like if powered by 3D. So I'm going to search for clock. I've already done that here. And you can see, of course, we can bring up our clock, and that's all well and good. Okay? But what's interesting is, let's go to this clock down here that looks a lot like the one we saw in iStock Photo. Now, what you and I know is all those images up there are synthetic, which is to say they were derived from 3D assets. So let's just activate this little button here. And what you'll see is something interesting. There's some controls. Can't really see them up there either, but you've got your shopping cart, your star rating. But, you know, I can go in and, of course, let's just zoom in here a little bit. And we can do the things that you and I know we can do so well in 3D that an image only can't do. Okay? So you can see we can change the materials, we can change the clock face, we can even go down and change the time. All right? Now, these are all things that, to us as established 3D professionals, we get it, right? It's 3D. But the important thing is how we present ourselves to the world, how we present ourselves as a media. And if we can do that, if we can present something that's compelling and useful, well, then not only can we reach parity with those other formats, but we can also exploit the advantages of 3D as a media. One asset, for instance, can turn into hundreds of assets. Here we take one single 3D asset and turn it into several 2D photo-ready assets. This is the idea of 3D as media. We have to stop focusing so much on the whiz-bangy nature of 3D and start thinking about what makes media compelling to a broader audience. And if we can do that as an industry and do a better job, this is only one idea. I want to stimulate lots of thoughts on how we can show ourselves to be not just different than other media, but at parity and then beyond, an image with benefits, if you will, well, then we can find a rising tide to lift all boats. I've got 3 seconds for questions. I'm kidding.